talking about remote workforce, but first off, why don't we talk about Kevin? What is Kevin? What is Clear Leader Group? Tell us what you do.
Yeah, so thanks, Paul. Glad to be here. Clear Leader Group is a company. My team is designed to help other teams get success out of their people. So specifically, aligning your business strategy with people strategy. If you think about every year, we go out of December with our planning, we create our KPIs, we have rocks, whatever we use to say what our revenue targets are, what we want to hit by December 31. But the thing that's really hard is to align people strategy. So if you think about what Jim Collins said about get the right people in the right seats, it's nice in theory, but most of us don't do it. So we help our folks, we use science to help them define the roles and then get the right people in those roles and see prediction of success in that. It's really good.
How do we use these tools? How do we create this inside of this remote kind of virtual environment? People have been doing it, so obviously you can do it.
So the remote environment just made it more complicated. It just does, because it takes all those human elements and predictive guessing that you get from time with people. Say 6 months, a year, you know some of your employees better now than you did, and then you see their performance. So to be able to predict why someone or how someone will do something without ever meeting them, actually you can in fact do that. I think it's important for us to realize there are 4 forces that destroy culture or destroy engagement. So if you look at the engagement factors across the nation, they're pretty bad. So we have these 4 things that cause challenges. The number one thing people quit, what is it? What do they quit?
Their manager.
They quit their boss. They don't quit their job. Yeah. The second thing is usually job fit. They just don't like what they're doing. The team, the way they feel about the team that they're on, and then lastly, that culture piece. And different companies have different weights on those things, but almost always uniformly, it's that manager going to be first. It's going to be those others. Well, those same 4 forces of disengagement still exist today. Yeah. They're just remotely, right? So now it's easier for them to clean their resume. Yeah, maybe not in this culture. We'll see what happens to the job market, but it's easier for people to be away from you and not be watched, to start dreaming about doing other things when they don't like their engagement with their manager or they don't like what they're doing. So back to your question, I can take someone in Seattle, Washington, and help me predict by knowing the role requirements, what they actually can and will do well for a long period of time. And then from there, it's just that other stuff you got to measure, like values and integrity, and then lastly, skills in the briefcase. So a couple things. First of all, let's just talk about in predictive index, high B, low B, or what you and I might call extrovert, introvert drives. Okay. They're completely different on how they approach meetings. They're completely different in their needs. High Bs, in my world, extroverts need to talk it out. They literally speak, and as they're talking, they realize that's what they meant, and that's what they meant when they get it out of them. It's literally verbal external processing. The low B, or the introvert style, needs to think it out. In fact, they won't speak until they're pretty sure they know what they're going to say. They're analytical, technical, factual communicators. Sometimes they come across cold, but they're actually not. They're actually processing. So if I'm going to hold a virtual conference call with my team, let's say there's 4 of us on the call. If I have someone who's introverted, low B, I'm going to send them the agenda ahead of time. And in the agenda, I'm going to tell them specifically what we're going to talk about and what I want them to be prepared to talk about. They will be prepared, and they'll bring a lot of value to the team. My high B extrovert still won't prepare. We'll show up and talk all the way through the meeting and disrupt everybody. That is just the way it is. But you have to know that. I would say this too, that my high Bs, let's say I'm virtual now, and I used to have a cooler talk. Now I don't have that. So my extroverts have got to talk. So if I'm an intentional manager, I'm putting them on a call. I may do it early in the morning to start their day. I would not use it as accountability. What are you working on today? No one likes that. I would call them, just say, how you doing? How you feeling? How's your family? What's going on in your world? And connect with them. And then say, how can I help you? Let them talk. My Bs don't want that. They're the ones that don't, the low Bs don't want to talk about weather and sports and who's not playing in the SEC tournament because it got canceled, right?
Well, I wrote a LinkedIn article today about a little bit of longer than I wanted it to be, but it ended up whatever. But it was because one of my team members asked me, so how should we be led as A players? Like, what is that? What does leadership look like? Like, I don't, what should I expect? And so it made me really think about, the goal of a leader is really to so different categories, but from a core company perspective, it's to multiply leadership. It's to multiply productivity and effectiveness to get more out of the people than you could do yourself. So if I have 3 people, I should be able to do, not just 3 times more, but maybe 300% more, or 600% more, 900% more. So doing that requires asking questions, listening really well, and being available to people. So I think about what you just said there. I think that's, to me, that's the critical aspect of any type of leadership, is just my job, whether you're an extrovert or introvert, is to always ask you, how are you doing? And maybe with the introvert, what you're saying is you maybe prepare them that, hey, I'd like you think about how things are going, what issues you're faced with, challenges you have. Like, we do a daily huddle, and everybody knows we're going to say, what's good news? What is your number one priority today? And do you have any issues or stucks? And so my introverts are prepared that they know they're going to have those questions today.
Right.
And my extroverts don't need to be prepared. They can just be like, I don't know, that's what I got to do. So I don't know. I think about that. Like, I just realize how intentional this requires us to be, like, more than ever.